Dantas, okay, so and then we have our invited speaker, that is Dr. Elisa Pozo Menendez. She will talk us about how is social innovation applied to a smart, healthy, age-friendly environments from her experience. And also she will explain us some concrete examples, and well, she will tell us more things so that we can be inspired about how to apply it. So if you agree, let's start remembering what we said in the last Science Cafe. Blanca Herrero de Gaña already sent us or give us a description of what is social innovation, and it is reflected in Wikipedia. And it is defined as new or novel ways that society has to deal with relevant social challenges that are more effective, efficient, and sustainable, or that generate greater impact than the previous ones, and that contribute to making it stronger and more articulated. On the other side, the definition for smart, healthy, and age-friendly environments comes from SHAFE, the stakeholders network that started, if I am okay, in 2017 or 2018. And it says that and settles that to live and participate in society is necessary that working and living environments are functional, usable, accessible, affordable, protective, and reachable. And these are the SAFE environments, the SHAFE environments. With the ongoing digitalization of society, new opportunities arise. Digital solutions can assist citizens to live and promote a healthier life, be independent, participate in society, have opportunity to work into later life, and ensure better living conditions, increasing well-being. But digital is just a tool. We need the whole ecosystem to work together. So once we have settled these two concepts, let's move forward. And first of all, I would like to ask you who is in the room, what is your field of expertise? So if you can please enter the Slido, you can just click the QR with your mobile or join at slido.com and you enter that password and you tell us what is your field of expertise. Are you working in urban transformation, housing architecture and design, or in social innovation, health and social science? You are dedicated policy and funding or information technology? Do you work in ICT for independent living, community intervention and care? So please tell us, because we think it's interesting to know to whom we are talking to. Just 1 minute. Well, I think that everyone has already voted. So we can see that most of the people attending come from social innovation, health and social science, but quite a big bunch of people also comes from urban transformation, housing, architecture and design, and someone information technology. Okay, thank you very much. So let's move forward. Yeah, if I know how to. Okay, so I will present now our speakers. As I have said, we will have now a context establishment by our project coordinator, Carina Dantas. She has more than 20 years of experience in the social and healthcare sector, aiming to bring innovation and well-being to real people. She wants to promote a more inclusive society in its different forms and is very active at the European level on the matching between digitalization and citizens' needs. So please, Carina, if you want to jump and explain us your presentation.
Sure, thank you so much, Sylvia. I will be very fast because the start today is Elisa and she's the one who has something new to bring to us. But just to put things into the right framing, I would just first, of course, thank you all for being here today and say that for SIRENE, the small pills of knowledge are a nice way for us to promote what we want to do, which is to promote social innovation to reach communities. And with this, that we can work together to have more inclusive environments. Of course, this inclusivity also means greener, smarter, so housing and environments that are adaptable for all different citizens and in all of different contexts. So SIRENE is this 2-year Horizon Europe coordination support action. We are in the 2nd year of the project, and we have a number of things to do. If you can go to the next slide. Namely, we have this, let's say, comprehensive package of different outputs that we expect to finalize during this year and to present to the different stakeholders. So we are mainly working around this idea of the social innovation framework. That is something that we can provide to different actors in the research and implementation areas, and that can help them to put together social innovation with the development of more inclusive environments. This goes from this wide range of tools like manuals, hands-on toolkits, and blueprints, but it's also supported by a digital and expert hub, a repository that is being developed with a lot of different knowledge and information, and then a number of supporting activities such as the science cafes, video pills, webinars, schools, and of course the work with ecosystems in different countries. And just a highlight on our expert hub, we are almost reaching 50 experts that are part of this exchange of knowledge network. We have an open call in case someone is interested to join us as well. And the full expert area is available on our website in case you want to take a look and see if this type of networking is of your interest. And just to finalize, besides the application to the Expert Hub, you can also be interested in integrating the network of ecosystems of SIRENE, either to try to test the social innovation framework or even to adopt it earlier, to co-create with us, because all of this has been co-created with different ecosystems and experts, or to participate in the activities and provide materials to the repository. So there's a lot of different aspects where people can contribute and work along with us, and where we would be very happy to have everyone's involvement. And from my side, I think that's it. And I will pass the floor to Elisa for the presentation.
Thank you very much. I will stop now sharing my screen, and Elisa, you can share yours.
Perfect. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for the invitation. I hope the presentation is interesting and bring some new ideas for you. And I will share now. You should be now watching the presentation. So, well, I'm one of the architects and urban planners of the survey results, but my focus has been well, expertising in social innovation and specifically working on the age-friendly environments. Why this is important? As society, we are probably all sharing this ageism perspective, and probably many of us are not aware that we have some stereotypes that are very affecting on how we innovate, how we design, and how we apply our perspective as designers or social workers or urban designers, architects, or engineers. We are living in this cultural background, and we can't deny this is important to open our minds and work towards a more empathic insight of how we work, taking into consideration the specific needs of different people. In my case, I have been focusing on age-friendly environments, but thinking specifically on older adults. Why I think this is important? Well, we are all getting older, and there's a lot of learning on this, on listening on the necessities of older people. And what I really believe is that the sharing in terms of architecture or urban planning, on landscape or territorial planning, there's a lot of learning from hearing the voices of people that have been living in a place and can share their knowledge also and contribute to make spaces and places that are inclusive for all. From this perspective, the first time I participated in a participatory research was through the UniHealth project at Universidad Politécnica de Madrid. And we were focusing on vulnerable neighborhoods and the participation of the local association Mesa de Mayores de Usera, in which both the students of Universidad Politécnica Madrid and the association work together to analyze, make a diagnosis, and also share some proposals for this neighborhood. The interesting part was, for example, that after the whole analysis of the students and the experts, the people from the association were also sharing their expertise, and even, for example, for transport connectivity, they were speaking out loud, like, the plans are amazing, the analyses are amazing, but in fact, we need to connect A to B, this specific itinerary, and for this, it's not possible for us because the slope of the street is so high. So after the whole analysis, after the whole diagrams, after the whole research, the experience from their point of view was, in fact, the additional data that we were missing. And this is also very evident, for example, in all of the resources or the innovation. For example, talking about the public transport, there's, for example, in the city of Madrid, there's a big investment on accessibility for the underground, for example, which is, of course, necessary. But in some parts of the city where older population might live and with higher difficulties to get access to other parts of the city, the bus is not accessible and is much cheaper, can be more optimized, and is the way and the way that they prefer to move and not going through the underground. So in this sense, this perspective, at least for me, was quite interesting, because at the end is putting the person in the center. And in other countries, like in the United Kingdom, where I did my PhD stay, I could find that there were already platforms where innovation towards healthy aging on sanitary sectors, or also technologies and other developments, were taking into account the necessities of a wider spectrum of people that participate. And this participation was in a natural way, not only in a specific focus groups, but it was open to adapt the products and adapt the innovations for a wider public. This is some of the persons that participated. So from this first project of the university, I continued to work with the association, and they engaged also in the competition of reinventing cities. In this case, it was also in 2019, and it was a competition to rebuild and renovate an ancient and abandoned market in this vulnerable district in Madrid. And the proposal included an answer for their specific necessity. It was of course, the renovation of the building, but thinking with them what kind of resources were needed for the neighborhood, which kind of activities or programs, and not only with them, but also they help us to connect with other associations and local entities in the neighborhood, so the proposal could be more successful and integrate all these programs in the design and the proposal. Of course, they were asking also for their innovative project. It was housing for older adults, but in this sense, well, the project, you know, that the competitions do not always end in a building, so the process stopped. But I learned a lot about this interaction with people that really know the environment, really have time to perceive the design of the places, perceive which places are more insecure or not, which places are better connected, or also to identify much better the necessities and the local inputs from the citizens. So now I share two projects that we led from Matia Institute. I'm working now as a researcher and architect in Matia Institute, which is an entity in Basque Country in Gipuzkoa that is expert on social innovation and also the care system in Spain. And what we have been innovating recently in this year is about new alternatives on housing in the context of Spain. We have been researching for a long time about different spaces, different alternatives, different housing solutions for older adults. But in Spain, what we find is these two options. So one is that we stay at home and until we can't deal with it anymore, and then there's a break and we go to the care home. In Matia Institute, we found and we give services, of course, for the care homes. We have different resources in Gipuzkoa, but we also accompany in the homes of people with care services. But what we were missing and what we were thinking about was how to innovate to create other alternatives that can respond for this heterogeneity that we have when we talk about older adults. As I said before, we have these stereotypes in the culture and in the common background, and normally, probably we wouldn't understand that instead of being at home or care homes, there's multiple alternatives that would answer to specific needs of other kind of profiles. So in this sense, from Matia, we wanted to connect this expertise on care services and proposing new developments for older adults. So the two specific projects are one focusing on convivial units, so the transformation on the care home model that we know, and we had a small pilot and the new housing that I'm going to explain now, and then another project that is homes with support, and this is a real alternative, a new housing model that is not a care home, it's not being at home because we need to move to this new building, but we offer another kind of solution, an alternative that we want now to research and to share evidence, taking this innovation and this research also in consideration. It's important also to mention that Matia expertise takes into account everybody into the process. We have been working for the care services for a long time, but in this transformation of the model, both the research we know about other cases and other projects that were being run in Europe and also in international framework, we had to contrast it and to adapt it to the local context. And in this sense, a participatory process was also developed inside in the teams of Matia within their expertise. And we created also groups of of discussion to contrast also this investment that was going to be done into this new building and new infrastructure. When we talk about urban planning or when we talk about architecture, we are talking about a very big investment. And in this sense, we have also the necessity to optimize the resources and to try to evaluate the model, talking and considering the real necessities and the real perspectives that people that use these spaces are asking for. So in this sense, I'm sorry, I'm seeing the... do you see the screen?
I don't know what's happening. There is like a
red thing.
Yes, sorry. Shall I? 1 minute.
Yeah.
Sorry. No. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So in this sense, the innovation, for example, this is the first pilot on Egurtsegi. The first pilot in Petra, to think about the innovation about the built environment on convivial units. So we know about the care homes. Normally we have the small rooms and the big spaces for conviviality, for common rooms, and there's no personalization or a strong identity on the spaces. So the research was about, for example, the use of certain materials in these kind of spaces, because it's also very specific about the hygienic systems or the sanitary controls that we have to pass, also the lighting, the noise. So there's a specific background that we have to address in terms of security, accessibility, installations. But on the other side, we were missing that the spaces recall home and not a sanitary or an hospital place. So in this sense, there were pilot projects considering also observing how people interact, how people use the spaces, also working with the caregivers, working with the different experts that use these kind of spaces. And we tested also different materials. For example, you can see here different solutions for the floor. This was also evaluated in terms of the economic impact or the noise, the reverberation, so technical aspect that have also to be considered while designing. And this small pilot offers us a lot of information to scale up the project and go for the new center, Egurtsegi, in Usurbil, which I also take the chance of this meeting to invite you formally to visit us in Usurbil. And the innovative approach to this project was considering that it should be the continuity of home. So all of the design and the different approaches that we were addressing while designing and also structuring the different volumetry, the number of places, the number of housing, the square meters that we have to address to all the person, the program, how this first step into Egurtsegi should be designed. So all these aspects were were not from the beginning. It was a very long process, and this process was also to research which kind of scale, which kind of architecture or different programs and geometries we should address. I know I'm talking about the specific aspect of architecture and urban planner, but I should highlight the relevance that working with the local ecosystem, the municipality of Usurbil was also key to think about the specific design that this new building should have. So the result is innovative in terms of the convivial unit that structure the whole building, but you will probably notice that it's not like another care home in, at least in Spain. I'm sure that in other countries the architecture is quite different, but there's a big investment of on trying to make this place connected to the current specific place where it is located. And this is also a result of a very in-depth process, and in parallel also an accompaniment of the local ecosystem of Usurbil that were working also with Matia Instituto on how to structure the care ecosystem in this municipality. In this sense, Gurtzegi is the result of a strong commitment from the municipality that there should be other alternatives, not only staying at home or the traditional care homes, and that being older and getting with higher levels of dependency shouldn't be something that makes you get apart from the community. So this is also thinking about how the design should be. The new square provides also equipment for all the population. It's open to everybody, to families, caregivers, and also the citizens from Usurbil. And the result inside is not a small room, but a small apartment where people can come and welcome also their families, caregivers. And as a matter of fact, one a small story, we were talking the other day with some of the caregivers, and Anis came to pass the night with her grandfather or grandmother, and I asked myself how many people would like to spend normally in a care home for a day or for a weekend, and accompany their grandma or their granddad in the, for example, in the welcoming and in the adoption for this new apartment and the new home that it will be probably the last one. So if we think about this small story about this person that shared the night with the beloved one, I think it's quite a big change of how we think about this kind of spaces, and this also should be making us to reflect and think about how we should evolve as society. This was the transformation of the care models, and then now I'm just talking briefly about Lugaritz, which is the new alternative from Matia Institute too. And in Lugaritz, what we wanted to innovate is not providing only the care home as we know, as the space and the services inside, but we were aiming to have a new building that were offering apartments for renting, but all the support and all the care services should come from outside. So what we proposed was that these apartments were not only for the person that is that needs high care services, but also for example, a partner that wants to share the care with the person, or a small family that has for them some needs, but also for the child, and or for example, having another room for someone that can come and be with me during the weekends. So this is a new development too. It has been inaugurated in spring this year, and we are still finalizing the urban environments around. But it offers a new development of 51 new apartments, and it has different typologies, because we understand that we are not only talking with these stereotypes. I began the presentation. When we talk about older adults, normally in the collective imaginary, we think about people that probably live alone or with big homes, or that are usually disconnected, and but in fact we have many other profiles and many other cases that we should also think about, and this is why we propose different typologies of 2 rooms, for example, or 3 bedrooms, and innovating in how the connection also with the space should be addressed. It is a multi-programmatic complex. It has also offices and a daycare center, also living labs that will be open soon. And in the big development, the innovation was also to connect and create an nexus between different neighborhoods in the surrounding. Usually also when we think about the urban developments, if we are only working with a promoter, we think about our building, and sometimes we forget about the connectivity with the rest of the city or the rest of the environment. And this opportunity was also to create an additional value to this new development and create this connectivity and a public space that will be also a research lab in the public space. The whole lugar is open also for research and for social innovation. And what we want also is that this new place dynamize the environment, and helps also to create evidence-based solutions and evidence-based new resources or alternatives. So it's open also to synergies and to collaborations. These are some of the views. So this part is almost finished, but still there's a lot of furniture and different developments that are yet missing. And just to highlight the importance of the social innovation in this process is, a strong part is, of course, the research. From Matia, we were working already in the person-centered design, the person-centered approach from the care services, but we needed also a built environment that accompany this social innovation. Otherwise, the built environment might also stop this creativity and the evolution of the society. So it's always a mix. We interact from an interdisciplinary approach, the people that live in our centers, in our buildings, the people that work there, the caregivers, the experts, the professionals that bring these services, and of course we design and we provide new opportunities. And in this sense, we are aiming now to create new evidence and knowledge so it can be scalable and create new opportunities and new models for all the society. In this sense, I open now for question and answer. I hope it has been interesting, and just a short final thought that I think it comes from the psychological geography that normally people build the places, but then the places influencing us and also affect us as society. So I welcome also the designers and the engineers to open their minds and think how they can contribute also for the social innovation, so the places can be also inclusive and age-friendly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elisa, for this interesting speech. I didn't present you, I'm sorry. I always do the same, I always forget lots of things. As you have seen already, Elisa is PhD in architecture, and she has 2 masters, one in Villes Durables and the other one in environment and bioclimatic architecture. And she has specialized on aging, friendliness, and also the intersection between design and dementia. And as she has said, she's a researcher at Matia Instituto, and also she has her own studio. So I invite you to follow her. And thank you very much for the invitation to visit your different housing models, because I think that probably we will visit you at some point. Now I would like, as we are already out of time, I would like to open the floor for questions. If someone wants to ask something in concrete, or wants to have more detail, or just wants to say something. No?
I would like just to ask one thing to Elisa, if it is possible. It would be, what do you think? I mean, we saw that there's a lot of things that, for example, in your organization, it was possible to consider and develop, but it's not always the case. For example, for organizations that work in the social care area or the healthcare or etc. What do you think is needed to open the minds of people to co-creation, participation, social innovation, etc., etc.? What is the changing factor that, for example, we can also learn from and try to provide to others?
So in this, I think it's a very good question, because what I learned also working for a university, or also for public administration or private clients, we are still working on different sectors. So social sector is focusing on innovation, but from the perspective of social research, for example, or the sanitary is also quite close to collaboration. And of course, we start now working in multidisciplinary teams, it's true, but still, when we go to reality, we still see that many of the things, for example, the structure of a municipality, or how the different projects are addressed by the technical or the architect, or so we usually have very close roles, and the space for open questions, open think about where we want to go. It's not usually considered, and the connectivity between different disciplines is very rare to see in real projects. And in Matia, we are always thinking that how to implement it. Even sometimes it's quite difficult, because also the participatory culture is not the same in some places or others, and it changes a lot of the cultural background, on the age. Also, we have to adapt also the participatory process for certain specific needs of people that can't participate in a conversation, for example. But it's additional value to innovate and to provide solutions that are answering the real needs. And this is one of the learnings that I can share.
Yes, Nicola, please, as you have your hand raised.
Yes, thank you. I have a couple of questions. I don't know if we have time. Well, one, thank you very much. It was very interesting. So my first question was regarding the rehabilitation of existing buildings, because you were talking about the market of Orcasur, but I was wondering whether do you have many projects that are just the regeneration of an existing building that maybe is abandoned or something like this, and whether it's easy to adapt these buildings for the purpose of new housing solution for people with dementia or other disabilities, or it's more complicated and so it's better to build new development. And the other question was regarding funding, because I think I was wondering if you always work when there is already somebody putting the money, or do you start with the project and then you need to look for funding?
Okay, so in terms of refurbishment or the renovation of existing built environment, I'm aware that from the point of view probably of the sustainability, normally we should go through the renovation and adapting structures. In the case of Lugaris, for example, it was an ancient infrastructure. It was built to be an innovative center in Donostia, in San Sebastian, but the crisis came and the process stopped. So, of course, after analyzing if the structure was possible or not to adapt, a building for housing was finally developed. So, of course, you should analyze and you should see if the existing infrastructure adapts or not, or if the economical investment that we consider that we need to adapt the ancient infrastructure will adapt to comfort or to the energy efficiency or the accessibility. I think there are places that maybe it's a great opportunity, but if it's out of the urban environment or disconnected or not accessible at all, we should consider the efforts or think about another infrastructure. It's true that it usually comes from complex decision taking, because sometimes it's the opportunity because there's this abandoned infrastructure in the city, but it would have this discussion about which kind of uses should be better to be done in this place. And maybe as we are talking about this heterogeneity and diversity and different functions and programs, maybe not a care home, or maybe not a kindergarten, or maybe not a specific ones, but we should also innovate on how to create programs that can beneficiate from this specific place and how to interact with the rest of the population. And also trying to answer, even if we want to develop a new building that could be offices or could be residential, but trying to connect to some needs that are already in the environment could be one of how to guarantee that this place could be more connected with the existent surrounding. And in terms of the investment or looking for funding, in the case of Matia Institute, for example, we are also developers. So in this sense, there's the private sector that is in coordination also with the support of the different entities, as some of the slides were showing. But there are also alternatives of calls that support also municipalities or different stakeholders to go for a major investment and support these kind of innovation projects that usually it's difficult to put that to create this big investment for something that is so innovative when we don't have evidence before that can assure that will be a success. So this is why also social innovation in this kind of projects is quite challenging.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that we are done because we are totally out of time. I mean, we were supposed to be just half an hour. Just to remember you that, or remind you that we will have more science cafes, and also I think that the previous ones give us some ideas about what we could tackle in the next ones. I think that the barriers that the different stakeholders find to launch this kind of projects and initiatives are one of the things that we have in mind, also from the public administration side, from the private sector, as Elisa was commenting, as Matia Institute is a private company, and also from the citizens, like those initiatives that want to be launched from the citizens part. So I invite you to be aligned with our LinkedIn and all the places where we put our activities, and we will have the next ones in February and March. If any of you wants to launch any other question to Elisa, please write us an email and we will launch them to her so that she can replay if anything was left. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you again, Elisa. We will see soon for sure. And thank you everyone for attending, and have a nice afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.